guys, I'm Pixel Dan, and this is a review of the Masters of the Universe Classic Weapons Pak 2, the Great Wars Assortment. So it's the second weapons pack released in the line. Is this new lot of assorted weapons and accessories worth your cash? Let's take a look at it and see exactly what's included. The weapons pack comes in the same blister card style packaging that the first did, with each of the weapons assorted in separate trays. The back of that card offers a glimpse at several figures from the Masters of the Universe Classics lineup. Now let's go through each of the included accessories, starting with these. The orange version of the He-Man shield and axe. So it's pretty clear exactly who these two weapons are meant for. Since the Faker figure only included a sword, many fans had hoped to eventually add He-Man's other accessories down the road. So now, we finally have that opportunity. And they look fantastic, with the same shades of orange used on this axe and shield to perfectly match the sword that came with the figure. This is an excellent addition to the set that seems to finally complete the Faker action figure. Next up is the Merman armor and weapons with a new paint deco. This time they are more of a goldish color. It seems that this was done to more closely resemble the coloring of the 2000X Merman figure. The only problem is that these new colors on the armor and sword don't seem to look as good as I'd hoped they would when actually placed on Merman. That new goldish color seems to clash with the bright yellow of his boots, gloves, and loincloth. This one was a great idea, it just didn't play out as well as I'd hoped it would. Optics weapons get a new paint deco, now offered up in black with purple highlights. Now these weapons do look really cool with these color combinations, but what can they be used for? Well, it turns out that Optic does have both black and purple colorings on his armor. And while the purple isn't an exact match, the weapons actually do look pretty nice with him. But if you don't want to display these with your Optic, there's sure to be somebody else you can use them for. Maybe try using them with your Cronus. Whiplash's weapons now come in a nice, shiny gold color. The 2000X weapon isn't really all that necessary, but there may be some out there who prefer this over that bright orange one that came with the Whiplash figure. You don't have many other displaying options with this one though, as that handle is so big, it can only be held by the figures that have that open hand, like Whiplash or Skeletor. However, the gold Whiplash spear is an excellent inclusion, because now you can display your King Randor with the weapon that his vintage figure came with. And he looks great with it. Plus, that gold even matches his other weapons perfectly. Evelyn's weaponry comes in a light purple color, with a green orb on her staff. I assume the idea here was to go for a bit of a 2000X look, kind of like the Merman stuff, as Evelyn wore a lot more purple in her costume in that era. However, these purple weapons don't seem to look right with her blue outfit and yellow skin. Plus, that purple is far lighter than the color she wore in 2000X. I suppose if you want, you could give that purple dagger to someone like Scareglow, or maybe have Skeletor wield the staff, but the purples don't match up there either. I can only assume that when and if we get a 2000X version of Evelyn, she'll have the corrected colored weapons, and that's why these weapons are colored the way they are here. A green version of the perch and armor that came with Screech is now included with this set. This finally gives you a stand-in armor for your Zor figure that was included with Tila. But why is it green? Well, the original artwork for the figures in the old mini-comics showed the perch and armor to be green, so this is an homage to that. Now, I'm assuming when the Sorceress actually comes out, we'll get the Zor figure that is colored like the original Zor figure, and she'll have the classic red stand-in armor. Plus, if any of you out there have that green Falcon that came with the DC UC Beast Boy, this perch and armor might look great on him as well. Here's one that fans are sure to love. The Sword of Protection, done in a two-tone silver color. If you prefer to do so, you can now replace the gold sword that came with She-Ra for this more cartoon-accurate silver version of the Sword of Protection. Unlike the sword that came with Adora, this one has a two-tone paint job very similar to He-Man's Power Sword. I must say that this is one of my favorite additions in this set, and this is the sword that my She-Ra will now be holding. And finally, one of the coolest in this set is Ohs Arm Attachments, painted black with blue highlights, so that they can be used with your Trapjaw figure. All of these weapons perfectly snap into Trapjaw's arm, and the colors are an exact match. This is probably my absolute favorite accessory in this new weapons pack. Using Roboto's parts to build up Trapjaw's arsenal was a very cool idea. One strange thing I want to point out, though, is this Mattel copyright that's on the Roboto gun. It's kind of big and blatant, and I'm not real sure why this weapon has to have it and none of the others do. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this new weapons pack. The first one that came out felt more like an homage to the vintage weapons pack with a few extras added in. This time, there seems to be a lot more useful stuff included. The highlights of the set, in my opinion, are going to be the Trapjaw weapons, the new Sword of Protection, the Zor Perch, Faker's weapons, and the Randor Spear. Of course, stuff like the new Evil Lyn weapons don't seem too great, but the majority of this pack is pretty awesome. So overall, I give this one a thumbs up. This new weapons pack goes on sale on November 15th, 2010 only on MattyCollector.com. Until next time,